It's time to do some aftermath stuff with ReZero finishing. Remember, it's not done. Core 1 has finished. Core 2 will be back in 8 weeks. August, it is what it is. Will be fun to see how the state of affairs will be with Mushoku Tensei and ReZero when it airs back to back together. Love both shows. The fandoms though, ooh, scary stuff. Now, the biggest news right now with the finale of part 1 is perfect episode. There are people glazing this shit as the best anime episode of all time. And you know what? Before we go into it, I will have to say this. You don't need anyone to tell you what was a good episode. Obviously, there's objective differences, technical, differentiation in a well-animated episode versus a not well-animated episode. You want to just bring up examples? Look at Tibate. Just objectively, it's fucking doo-doo. I hear that it's on the, it's coming up. But even then, if you just loved watching it, you watched it and it moved you, great. Anime of the year, anime of the best anime of all time, best episode for you. What I'm trying to say is, the best way to consume art is to just be yourself and let your subjective opinion take over and have fun with it. You enjoyed it? Peak fiction. Fuck it. ReZero is the best forever. Other people enjoy something else? Fuck it. It's best for them. But when I'm making content, of course, I need to have some sort of standardized system, some sort of parameters, well-defined variables that I'm trying to compare to give you an overall comparison. And in this video, we're going to go over my overall feelings about the perfect 10 out of 10, ReZero Season 4 just being, just the best it's ever been. What I realized this season, though, is how popular ReZero really is. And we've known this. I've shown you that colored map, right? I've shown you that colored map of 2016 most viewed anime of all time in Crunchyroll during those regions. ReZero was definitely dominating. This is not some random puny niche isekai show, right? This is the mainstream isekai that normies now know about. Corporate brand marketing or a monster, right? Supercell, another big corporation, right? KFC, whatever, right? Everyone is getting on board the hype and emotion. So what I'm trying to say here is this absolutely has that mainstream motion. It is recognized by the masses, and for sure, it deserves that popularity. And it's cool to see. Some other stuff right here, right? It's cool to see the Core 2 art. I think it's insane that they're sitting on a pile of Subaru bodies. We get to see the 3 gluttonies dancing around at the top. Julius and Reese still going at it. Ram LARPing that she cares for Ren that she doesn't even know. Cool stuff. Let's look at this. ReZero just broke all barriers with the latest episode debuting at 10 out of 10. 12,000 votes. Highest rated TV series episode of all time. So now we are breaking into not just anime ratings, but TV ratings. So are we actually comparing Breaking Bad? What else is there? Fucking House of Dragons is a new one that's coming up, but before that is Game of Thrones. It's really up there, huh? Better than Breaking Bad. That's kind of crazy. First isekai and light novel to animate series to achieve. This is a big recognition, and I'm very happy for Nagatsuki Tappei. Tappei, the author, has been tweeting, obviously, about how much they appreciate the adaptation and how much that, they're happy that it's received so well. And I think it's just so cool that this guy is getting what he deserves. The story is fucking cracked. And I think that even if the anime on a technical basis is not delivering the best production value, again, production value is not limited to just action sequences. Drama sequences, conversations, right? Soundtrack, the tension, the voice acting, the way that the scenes are crafted using different camera angles, the speed and tempo, the presentation, all of it, right? Kind of builds into this concept we know as direction. And even though this is not the best directed anime, because I still think Nippon Sangoku, right? On a technical objective basis, I feel like that is something special. The story alignment is so strong, so fucking core, and the overall motion of the community and the tourist at large with the help of the LARPers is so big. It's actually done this. First to achieve 10 out of 10 in 9 years. And this is big because every time that something debuts as 10 out of 10, people will immediately start shitting on it because it's a 10 out of 10. You're basically putting a target on its back whenever you celebrate a show for being perfect, right? Other fandoms that are upset, people that don't like the show, they haven't actually watched the series. They just see that something that they don't like or they're not part of is getting this crazy motion. And in their mind, what happens? It's Squidward looking out at window meme, right? This is how people are. Bunch of miserable motherfuckers. People are out there having fun saying this is the best anime of all time. And you know what? Go ahead. I may not agree with you, but if it's the best for you, you deserve to just treat it as the best for you. But there's a lot of Squidwards out there that says, I don't like that. And they're going to start review bombing it, right? But it's cool to see that it's received like that. 10 out of 10. And 12,000 ratings too. Like, that's no fucking joke. In like a weighted score of how many people actually voting, it's fucking cracked. Let's look at some other, you know, ratings here too, right? My anime list. If we look at my anime list and look at, let's say, anime and top anime, right? Of course, we're gonna see this. Is there a different way to view it? I don't like this list factor, but fuck it, whatever. Remember the drama that was happening with Frieren Season 2? Where is it now? Where is Frieren Season 2? Oh my god, where did... And even then, 28th greatest anime of all time on this website with the rating of 8.87. That is a legendary score. No. Washed, maybe, if you compare it to the fucking standard of Frieren Season 1 of rank 1, obviously. But Season 2, it's not mid. This is an excellent anime where the story substance was not really that significant to receive such a crazy rating. I think this is a very big important point that I'm going to bring out too, right? And I want to really compare Frieren Season 2 and ReZero Season 4 and the ratings that are received and how the perception is. Do you guys know this meme? Sexual harassment versus unspoken riz. Right? We all know this meme, right? Where it's like, you know, the fat guy. I'm sorry. This is not a good picture. I'm trying to, there's just a fucking bunch of memes here, right? Don't worry about the captions here, right? But basically, ReZero comes in saying, hey man, rank 2 anime of all time. Oh wow, you deserve it. Frieren Season 2, rank 2 anime of all time. Hello, human resources? Why is that happening? Why is that happening? I think a big part of it has to do with, there's many different reasons, but in my opinion, a big part of it though is the story and where it's at. You think about second season of Frieren, what was it? A very short and sweet transition as we go into the most important arc of the manga apparently, the Golden City. But before we do that, you have a little bit more of standard Frieren slice of life, date episodes, some fun reflecting on the memories. Yeah. But that's not like special anymore. That's just like, all right, we're doing sitcom, we're doing TV sitcom. It's, you know, slice of life episodes, whatever, okay? And then the Genau arc happened. That stuff was really hype, right? The Revolte Genau, his closure, what kind of person he is, the way that he tries to say, I'm not a good person, yet he was a great person. His character development, the exploration of him and Stark as well. Fucking peak. Of course, we got some fan service with Method and the other girls and the fight sequences. But other than that, and then Denken being hyped up, it was a very low-key arc. And I think that this absolutely does matter when we're rating anime in terms of a popularity rating. In my opinion, story is a separate parameter, a separate variable that you should be judging separately when looking at an anime. Now again, remember what I said. If you just want to glaze ReZero Frieren because the story is that fucking good to you, go ahead. You have all the rights to. But again, I'm trying to really standardize and label and differentiate and define things so I can compare. And I try to create this concept called story alignment, where Season 4 of ReZero, the story alignment, what does that mean? The web novel, the light novel, the story is so fucking peak. And it's so peak that it might actually give you a different set of perspectives when watching the anime. The anime is also retelling that story. And of course, you fuck with that story, that arc, the story alignment is gonna make you think this is the best thing ever. But when you actually look at the technical component of how these scenes are crafted, the way that the presentation is done of said story, it's hard for me to say this is the best ever. Do you know what I'm saying? I think that even if we compare within ReZero for season 4 versus season 1, I think season 1 scenes actually did have better direction. I think that the Rem speech in episode 18, the way that that scene was just like formed, was a masterclass on a conversation dialogue anime. Maybe I'm nostalgia high, but I do think that that scene was much better executed than this scene in the Core 1 finale, which was supposed to be a parallel of that, right? Instead of Rem saying all of that things to hype up Subaru at his lowest, it's Emilia, the dialogue parallel, that's great. Yet if you look at the overall scene composition, it is kind of uninteresting, just dark compositing scene, two top people just kind of talking. It kind of reminded me more of season 2 in the Sanctuary, where Subaru and Emilia are talking and arguing and leads to a kiss. You look at something like Nippon Sangoku and the way that they show and present their story, it is different. The packaging, the constant switch up in the camera angles, and it's not just cuts, right? It's again, it's more to it than that. Again, all these different parameters that and concepts that form this overall direction, I think it's lacking. But again, the story is so fucking peak. You will love the development of these characters that you're gonna be like, yup, best ever. That, I think that has to be acknowledged. I'm happy that ReZero is this fucking high. That an isekai of anime, of all fucking anime, has been glazed this high. And not just any isekai, my favorite isekai perhaps, right? Mushoku Tensei, ReZero, and even honestly recently, Tensei Stonks are rising up. Glad to see that. But the fact that ReZero is actually up here in the mainstream title, I didn't think it was possible. Genuinely did not think it was possible. Yet we're actually fucking here, doing it. And it's unreal. It's actually unreal. You have to kind of look at the numbers too. Right over here. The members, I think, is showing you how many people have actually voted. What does this show you when we have 3.7 mil, 1.5 mil, but we have 1/4 mil here? It means that obviously much more time has passed from this show ending and this show ending. But as well as there's a much more hardcore cult-like mobilization of agenda posters for ReZero. And I think that this is absolutely true. Of course, every fandom, I think, has their own glazers. Every fandom has their own agenda posters. Everyone is out there trying to say that their show is the best ever. But ReZero, I think, has a very extremely sweaty, like, cult following. Of course, there's the parallels with the Archbishops and the witch cult and how many people might want to LARP and kind of have that kind of theme. But the mobilization, the coordination of the ReZero people, I think is very competitive. And I don't think that you really see this type of community movement in Mushoku Tensei, Tensura, even in Frieren. Well, Frieren, honestly, it does have a lot of mainstream fucking pull. It's just that Frieren got gangbanged by everyone else that was tired, right, of them LARPing as #1. So, to tie it all back, was season 4 that fucking amazing? I think so. Is it deserving of #2 anime of all time? That's a subjective thing. I'm happy that it's up there. And to be honest, I want to keep it up there. Maybe #2 is kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie, when I saw this rating, I was like, is this shameless or not? There was a part of me, for sure, that saw the emotion and I was like, I love this story, but like, is this shameless? Maybe I shouldn't say anything. Maybe I just wanted to low-key just sneak it up there, because if I make it a big deal out of it, maybe other people will be like frustrated and be like, yeah, it doesn't deserve it up there. And then the Frieren season 2 motion is gonna happen all over again. How is Steel Ball Run up there with 1 episode? This is a very important community. This context also matters a lot, right? This is why numbers are so important to understand the context. Steel Ball Run is up there not because Steel Ball Run episode 1 was technically that amazing. It is absolutely a fucking peak episode. Something that called probably like a 9 out of 10 episode. But 1 episode to be competing with full fucking finished seasons or partly finished seasons like that, it's because of Frieren. It's because during that time, this drama was happening at the same time. And there's a lot of people that was also mobilized and coordinated due to the drama happening with Netflix and their reluctance to set an official schedule. And a lot of people, the drama, the controversy, it's hot, it's active. And all of that combined was a perfect storm where Steel Ball Run actually had its moment to rise up in the rankings like that and dethrone, you know, Frieren Season 2. Of course, Steel Ball Run then got dropped for a bit. I think that this is a crazy fucking score. But again, there's a lot of like historical context in how these shows are rated. Let's look at some other context too. Man, look at that shit. I'm the rating for every ReZero Season 4 Part 1 episode. What did you think of the season so far? Peak. I think it's getting close. And perhaps it can actually beat Season 1 for me. Season 1 though, I'm so fucking nostalgia pilled. And it's so hard to re-emulate that first high of witnessing an isekai where a main character can be punished like this, that there's consequences, right? But damn, pretty good fucking score. Really high score. Most likely overrated. And this is a fact that many people don't want to acknowledge. When I say something is overrated, people get immediately defensive and start getting triggered. Even if I acknowledge and say this is fucking peak and amazing and that it deserves rating, when I say overrated, again, monkey's brains just implode. What does overrated mean? It means that something is so fucking popular that it is getting a rating inflated than what it should be getting. What should ReZero actually be at? These high of 9s? Perhaps somewhere in the 9s, 9.5s, I don't know. But for sure, to like label these episodes as 10 out of 10s, 9.9, kind of fucking crazy if I consider some of the other season 1 moments that were more recognizable, way more fucking amazing. For example, look at this. This is a conversation many people don't want to have because these are fucking LARPers. There's a comparison picture. This. If you watched the Royal Succession arc, Natsuki Subaru's Crash Out, one of the best fucking episodes of all time. Is episode 12 the one where Subaru crashed at Amelia? It is, right? This is a thing that I'm bringing to show you. This episode fucking moved me. This was unreal. This is the first time I've ever seen an isekai character actually do something like that. That was 13? Okay. What was 12? 12 was... What was it? Why is it rated so low? In fact, it's season 13. What's the rating here? ReZero, season 1, episode 13 rating. Let's look at that. What was 12? 7.9 out of 10, right? So again, we can use this as an example too. 7.9 out of 10 is what I'm trying to show you here. In my opinion, this is perhaps one of the greatest fucking like directed episode of season 1 in terms of, again, that like conversation scene in that bed scene. The way that it was done, holy fucking shit, it was peak. Maybe I am overglazing it. Maybe I'd have to actually watch the episode again and really analyze it with my new awakened third eye of the Sakuga. But the more I think about how much it moved me, it was different. This was surreal. It was fucking different. A main character making faces like this, crashing out at the heroine when we're at rock bottom. Many people hated it. They could not handle it. It got rated 7.9 out of 10. And then you have shit like this getting rated 10 out of 10. Even a 7.4 for episode 12, I doubt it was that fucking bad. What I'm trying to say is, there is a recency bias and an over-inflated number of these scores because of how peak season 4 is to the light novel readers and the source material readers, the LARPers at large, and how much they want to push this shit too high up. Now, I'm sure that those people also rated, you know, the season 1 episode that I'm mentioning, not a 7.9. I would imagine that actual source material people watching it would not rate it that low. This is like the reflection of the normies that could not handle a main character behaving like that. So this is more on the fault of, I guess, the casuals. And at this point, the casuals, I guess, has been kind of called out or filtered out. And Natsuki Subaru in this arc definitely is more compelling, more palatable, right? He's not that annoying, I guess, to root for. So there's a lot of other stuff happening. But I really go think back to season 1 moments. There's a lot of episodes where the ratings does not match what I think it should deserve. And that's why I'm using it as a comparison when I say that season 4 episodes are absolutely inflated. Why is it inflated? Why is it overrated? It's fucking peak. It's at top of the motion right now. It's the most popular it's ever been. Everyone wants to LARP and get on board. They want to glaze this shit. There's a highly coordinated, organized members within the ReZero community brigading and fucking agenda posting and doing this shit. Does it mean that the show is bad? No. Does that mean that this is a perfect 10 out of 10? In my opinion, no. I cannot, for my honest sake, say that this is the best anime episode that I've ever watched, because season 1 episode 15 still exists for me. You talk about a 10 out of 10, I think that 15 actually handles it that well. Even like for me, for a personal bias, the episode where Natsuki Subaru almost saves a run, but he then turns into a finger, right? Not a literal finger, as he runs off into the forest and Julius and Felix are struggling to kill him. That episode was fucking special to me too. Episode 18 with the Rem, of course, right? People love the yapping and the, you know, the romance and the development. I think that, of course, that was amazing, right? But there, in episode 7, episode 3, there's season 1. Again, I'm just nostalgia pilled, but when I think about those and how much that moved me compared to season 4, can't really say that this is like the best ReZero I've seen. But that doesn't mean that it's bad. It just means that ReZero is so fucking peak that I'm like using other ReZero examples to explain why there's other better ReZero content out there. And I think that the reflection of the season 4 is so high. I'm actually shocked. I'm shocked and I'm happy. And I'm so glad that it is on that like mainstream level now. How far can ReZero really get? Right? Here's some more ratings too. Also, every time Okeanex is always the greatest benefactor and the greatest, you know, op of ReZero for them. So every time you do this, bro, like you're putting a target on your back. The best way you can move forward is to shut the fuck up and let happen things organically. But there's a lot of insecure people that's personality just one thing, and they have to set that thing as like their, like it needs to validate their life. It is what it is, right? Sure, whatever. You have your purpose to fill. It's cool to see. Of course, there are people review bombing and this shit, but yeah. And overall, that's it. Look at that, man. Just more glaze, more fucking glaze. And I don't think we're even at like top of the top just yet. I don't think that like we are at the peak just yet. I think that the core 2 stuff that's gonna happen is gonna take it to the next level. Is it gonna reach a higher score than that? What can go higher than 10 out of 10? We'll see. But like, I kind of wanted to make a video about the finale episode too, but I think I got my overall thoughts across. TLDR, ReZero is the most popular that it's ever been. It is being overglazed and overhyped due to how good it actually is, and the LARP is at large. Did it deserve a 10 out of 10? That's for up to you to decide. Personally, I can't rate this a 10 out of 10. I think an easy 9 out of 10 could do it. Because other season 1 content exists out there where I think it moved me more. Doesn't mean that this episode didn't move me. It was actually amazing. Could it have been better? Always. Anything can always be better. But the way that people talk about this being like this is like your best anime that you've ever witnessed, either you're a ReZero fanboy that only watches ReZero, or you have these goggles on where you can only glaze ReZero because this is your favorite story. It's okay, right? But just be honest, right? I think that there should be a part of you that should be able to like kind of dissipate the hype. When the smoke settles down, really think, was that episode truly the most moved, the most compelled that you ever felt in ReZero? And if it is, hey man, more power to you. Go ahead. But to me, many other ReZero content I've seen that moved me more, and I'm very excited to see what's gonna happen in Core 2. We got 8 weeks. There's a lot of other ReZero content we'll do. Look forward to that. Goodbye.